Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So since my last Enneagram video, and since I've been posting more stuff on my Enneagram Instagram, I keep getting asked what is the Enneagram, or what is involved in doing the test, and loads of other questions like that. So I just thought I would take a minute to go through the basics of the Enneagram. So, the Enneagram is a personality typing system. You might be familiar with something like the Myers-Briggs system, which gives you the four-letter abbreviations like ENFP or INTJ. It's sort of a similar basis of that, so when you take the test, it's got sort of statements and questions, and you sort of say how much you relate to each statement. That's sort of the basic structure of most of the tests. Some of them do something slightly different, like showing you pictures, and you have to say which one you relate to the most, just buzzwords and what ones you relate to the most. But ultimately, all the tests are quite simple and similar. The Enneagram, however, is slightly different to a lot of other personality typing systems, as it doesn't just look at the way you think and why you do the things you do. While it does highlight those, it also gives you a structure of how you can be better, how you can become your best self. It highlights your more negative tendencies, as well as looking at your potential and looking at you at your best, as well as you at your worst. So you can recognize when you're maybe not at your healthiest self, or when you're doing things just as a reaction because that's sort of the protection that you've built up with your personality, and when you're doing things because you're genuinely passionate about them or you genuinely care about things, and it's kind of a way to get out of a rut and get out of sort of the same way of doing things. I think the Enneagram can be really good if you find yourself constantly wondering why you're always doing the same thing, why you're always getting stuck in the same patterns, and it's a way to kind of release yourself from those patterns through exercises, meditations, recognizing thought patterns, and developing those thought patterns into something a bit more positive. Part of what I do and what I offer with my Enneagram consultations is doing a short test and then having a conversation with you, either through text or through video call, or once COVID-19 is over, in person, and discussing the results in the test, seeing what you relate to. I think one of the great things about the Enneagram is it's really focused on you and making sure that you relate to the type that is coming forward. So if I were to be typing someone and I kept telling them, oh, well, this is what a type 2 is like, this is what they do, this is what they do, and if the person turns around to me and says, no, I don't relate to that, or I don't relate to this, I don't relate to that, well, maybe that's not the right fit for them. And the consultations are kind of a way to make sure that you are getting the right fit and you are doing the exercises and meditations, and recognizing the correct thought patterns. That was especially important for me, for example, as when I first started doing the Enneagram, I felt like I really related to the type 2, whereas it turns out I'm actually a type 4, and it was actually a few years before I realised I was a type 4 rather than a type 2. This can happen with a bunch of different types for a bunch of different reasons. For me, it was because it was a particularly stressful period of my life. And the 4 goes to 2 when it's in stress, which I can explain about a bit more in detail in another video of where Enneagram types go to when they're stressed, when they're at their best, as that's something else that the Enneagram explores, as all the types are connected and you have the potential to connect with any of the types. So that's probably why you might relate to more than one type, but there'll definitely be one that is more dominant within you, and that you will relate to the most, and that one will be the one that will help you to become a better you. So if you have any more questions about the Enneagram, feel free to leave a comment down below or send me a message on Instagram at Flynn Davies Enneagram, or even send me an email, flynndaviesenneagram@gmail.com. You can even book a consultation with me if you're interested, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm hoping to have an interview with a Type 3. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to like and subscribe the video, and I'll see you next time.